Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Lighthouse Ministries. I hope you guys are doing well. We are on episode 3 on the Holy Spirit fast. I hope you guys are enjoying the episodes we are putting out there. But today we are talking about flesh versus spirit. Why is it important to stay into your spirit and not your flesh? Because we should live a fasting spirit life. What fasting in the spirit looks like is doing what the spirit wants and not what the flesh wants. Like I said before, they constantly fight against each other of doing what you're going to do today. What I'm trying to say is that which one are you going to choose today? Are you going to choose the spirit or are you going to choose the flesh? And my encouragement for today before we get into the video is that you should always want to live in the spirit. Because what our flesh really wants is just for us to be evil. They want us to do bad. So that's why you shouldn't live in the flesh, but you should always live in the spirit. And because that's what God desires us as Christians to live in, which is the spirit he gives us. So we'll be getting to what does it look like to live in the spirit, but also what does it look like to live in the flesh. And we're going to be reading Galatians 5, and we're going to be jumping from verse to verse to explain a little bit deeper. So you guys, we are reading out of Galatians 5, but we're going to be jumping from verse to verse, like I said before. But we are starting off with 16. So I say, live by the Holy Spirit's power, then you will not do what your desires controlled by sin want you to do. That verse is explaining that we should live by the Holy Spirit power. The reason why we should live by that because it helps us overcome our sinful nature of the desires of sin. Galatians 5, we are going to be reading verse 17. The desires controlled by sin do not want what the Spirit delights in. And the Spirit does not want what the desires controlled by sin delights in. These two are at war with each other. That's why you are not supposed to do whatever you want. So now we're going to verse 19. The results of sin controls in our lives is clear. It includes sexual sin, impure acts, and wild living. Now we are in 20. It includes worshiping statues of gods and worshiping evil powers. It also includes hatred and fighting, jealousy, and fits of anger. Sinful desires is interested only in getting ahead. It stirs up trouble. It separates people into their own little groups. It wants what others have. It gets drunk and takes parts in wild parties. It does many things of that kind. I warn you now, as I did before, people who live like this will not receive God's kingdom. From off that verse, it explains that your flesh is evil. And God did not want us to live in flesh. He wants us to live in the Holy Spirit that he has given us. If you are having fits of anger, jealousy, all those things they explain is because you are dwelling in your flesh and not dwelling in your spirit. So now you guys, we are reading out of Galatians 5 still, but verse 22. But the fruit the Holy Spirit produces is love, joy, and peace. It is being patient, kind, and good. It is being faithful and gentle and having control of oneself. There is no law against things of that kind. This is how we should be living our lives through the Holy Spirit. Those fruits produces the actions we should act on daily when it comes to living in the Spirit every day. So as I end this video, I ask you to question yourself, are you battling against the sinful nature, anger, jealousy, hatred, wild parties, everything that the Bible explains what is sin? And if you are, I ask you to join this fast so you can spend more time in the Spirit so he can help you control those sinful nature. You cannot do it on your own because your flesh will overcome your spirit every time if you try to. And then also ask yourself again, which one are you feeding? Which one are you spending more time with? Are you spending more time in your flesh or are you spending more time in your spirit? And what spending in your time in your spirit looks like is being more connected with God. The word, spiritual time, prayer, listening to sermons, reading your word, And it's just basically spending more time with God than spending time in the world with social media, TV, movies, whatever the world produces. You shouldn't do that because you're spending too much time within your flesh. And that's why you're acting and doing those sinful natures, because you're spending more time with that and not time with the Spirit. So if you got this far in the video, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys in the next episode.